The latest episode of One Punch Man Season 3 is here, and it's absolutely explosive. After being sidelined for 11 episodes, Saitama finally gets his chance to shine. However, the most stunning performance comes from King, the strongest man on Earth. A monster mimicking a hostage tried to lure him in, hoping to be carried out, only to be scared to death on the spot by the sound of the King engine.
Where is that coming from?
Unfortunately, Saitama wasn't anywhere nearby at the time. In another part of the base, he ran into a dragon-level executive rover. He planned to offer a bone to bond with it, hoping the doggy would lead him to the source of the noise. Instead, he was caught off guard by a sudden violent attack. Saying the dog was so poorly behaved, Saitama decided to step in and teach it a lesson. With just one punch, he knocked Rover out cold. Nyan, watching from the ceiling, saw everything. If there were ever a time to strike, now was undoubtedly the best moment. But after its claws slashed across that bald head, it was shocked to find only a few faint scratches left behind. Terrified by the sight, Nyan's fur stood on end, and it immediately scurried into a crack in the ground to escape. Elsewhere, Pig God was busy devouring fodder monsters when he was suddenly swallowed whole by the dragon-level executive Gums. The intense struggling inside soon became too much to bear, forcing Gums to spit him back out. Furious after his narrow escape, Pig God didn't hold back, and the two began a savage biting match. Super Alloy Darkshine was more fortunate in countering the demon-level Monster Bug God. The opponent's attacks couldn't even dent his defense. Faced with a relentless barrage of punches, Darkshine countered with a single blow, instantly obliterating him. At the same time, Terrible Tornado arrived at Gyoro's domain. As the chief strategist of the Monster Association, he declared that he would become the creator of a new world, but Tatsumaki couldn't care less about him, triggering an immediate clash between the two Espers. Gyoro manipulated a massive amount of rubble, forming a colossal spherical cage, in an attempt to crush Tatsumaki. To his surprise, once the dust settled, not only was Tatsumaki unscathed, she easily pierced through his psychic barrier with a single strike, tearing off one of his arms instantly. Realizing the opponent was far beyond his expectations, Gyoro immediately revealed his true form, and unleashed gravity waves, increasing the gravity to 300 times its normal strength. Yet all he received in return was Tatsumaki's ruthless mockery. Yes. Though the enemy's body had been torn apart, Tatsumaki saw right through it. It was nothing more than a puppet. She then began sensing the controller's true location, making Gyoro sense an impending threat. He immediately tried to call for Monster King Orochi to come to his rescue, but strangely, there was no response. Little did he know, Orochi was busy dealing with Saitama. He had sensed an abnormal pressure coming from the bald man before him. Realizing Saitama was a powerhouse beyond imagination, he felt that if he didn't eliminate him now, he would become a grave danger in the future. Right then, the unconscious Rover woke up. Orochi immediately ordered him to attack the bald man, but to his surprise, with just a single glance from Saitama, Rover was terrified and fled at light speed, coupled with the monster cells within him screaming in fear. Orochi couldn't help but suspect that this bald man was the powerhouse who defeated Guketsu and Elder Centipede. Thus, he resolved to devour him to complete his ultimate evolution. However, Saitama remained completely unimpressed. After all, he's seen this 1,000 times. It always ends with one punch anyway. He wasn't expecting anything special. Then Orochi opened every vent across his body, unleashing massive beams of light, powerful enough to pierce the earth. Shaking the surface, even the shockwaves alone would require S-class heroes to unite and defend, yet Saitama remained unscathed. He still intended to end the fight with a normal punch.
You're mine now, huh? Turning on you. Or are you crying now?
You will go, and that concludes the recap of the latest One Punch Man chapter, which is also the final episode of Season 3. Part 1. That's right, you heard correctly. Season 3 has a second half, which is officially scheduled to be broadcast in 2027. I'm not sure how you all feel after hearing this news, but as your host, I'm both excited and anxious. With nearly 2 years of production time, I really hope the animation team can redeem the series' reputation by then. Now, let's cover some additional lore and details. The reason Saitama didn't finish off Rover and Naya is because he saw Rover as just an ill-mannered big dog, and Neon as a stray kitten. He only meant to teach them a lesson, not kill them. For targets with no clear malicious intent, or those who've lost the will to fight, Saitama never goes for the kill. However, Orochi is a pure monster through and through, obsessed with devouring Saitama, to evolve into a god level, being a top-tier threat that must be eliminated. Therefore, Saitama naturally showed no mercy. Finally, thanks to everyone who has followed the updates this far for part 2 of season 3. We'll meet again when the time comes.